So we've come to the conclusion that God's judgment is discriminating. God takes into consideration a person's advantages and that person's attitude. Finally, I want us to see clearly how devastating the judgment of God is. Verse 16. And let's read a little bit of verse 15 to set us up here. Their consciences testify in support of this, and their competing thoughts either accuse or excuse them. Here's verse 16. On the day when God judges what people have kept secret, according to my gospel, through Christ Jesus. Now Paul talks about a time when God will judge what individuals have kept secret. God will call to light the hidden works of sin. And of course, as we've looked at being a judgmental person, being a hypocrite, that's what we're talking about here. The secrets of the heart that made this person a hypocrite before God. All things that we've done that we shouldn't have done, all things that we haven't done that we should have done, we will be held accountable. God will not overlook those things. He will not forget those things. One day the hypocrite's secret will be exposed, and he will be displayed for what he really is, a hypocrite, a play actor. The Queen Mary was the largest ship to cross the oceans when it was launched in 1936. Through 4 decades in a world war, she served until she was retired, anchored as a floating hotel in a museum in Long Beach, California. During the conversion process, her 3 massive smokestacks were taken off to be scraped down and repainted, but on the dock they crumbled. Nothing was left of the 3/4-inch steel plate which the stacks had been formed. All that remained were more than 30 coats of paint that had been applied over the years. The steel had rusted away. When Jesus called the Pharisees whitewashed tombs, he meant that they had no substance, only an exterior experience, only an exterior appearance. God called, or Jesus called, Jesus being God, he called the Pharisees the ultimate hypocrites. What did he say to them? You are whitewashed tombs. You're a tomb that's all cleaned up. You look beautiful on the outside. But inside you're full of dead men's bones. Inside you're filthy, you're nasty. No one would want to touch what's inside of you. And that's what Jesus said to the Pharisees, the ultimate hypocrites, the ultimate play actors. Now my question to us today is, are we play acting? Is it real in your life? And I don't want us to be thinking about somebody around us. Well, this is a good message for somebody else. No, this is a good message for you and for me. Each of us. It's not for someone else. It is for us. Where do we stand? You can be the biggest victim in the world. You can always feel victimized. Somebody's out to get you all the time. And you can be the biggest hypocrite in the world and not even realize it. So let's not be so quick to pass judgment on those that we believe. Without a shadow of a doubt, that's a hypocrite. That's what he looks like. That's a Pharisee. Let's make sure, even as people who think, man, I'm victimized all the time, that I'm not the hypocrite. Because you can be a hypocrite even as someone who thinks you're the victim. Be careful. Are you indulged in all kinds of sins in your own life and you want to point out someone else? And maybe you want to point out their hypocrisy. All the while, sins are ravaging your own life. There's no love in your life. There's no compassion. There's no kindness. There's no goodness. There's no self-control. You do whatever you want to do when you want to do it. You're completely full of sin. But you want to spend all your time pointing someone else out. Well, they did this. They did that. Let's start being men and women of God. People with a backbone. And make sure that we do what's right and we set the example of God. Not expecting someone else. Well, they didn't set the example, so I'm doing this, I'm doing that. No, we set the example. We are supposed to be God. You are called to be the Christian. You're going to answer for yourself. You don't have to answer for anyone else. You answer for you. The only one that's got to worry about that is me up here. Nobody else has to worry about that. I do answer as a pastor. But everybody else out here answers for themselves. Let's make sure that we've got our hearts right with God. Janice, if you'll come.